I have all the Paintober paintings arranged as tiles on the floor here, and today I will be hanging them in a show. Hi, I'm Zarina, abstract artist, and I have commandeered a space. I've already got 2 paintings up in it actually, which I've got to take down. And it's kind of an interesting space because it's got this thing in the corner, which I thought was quite industrial looking. I'm going to get rid of those boards, and we've got this nice big wall as well. So I'm thinking of, and I've got that outside space as well, sort of the corridor. So I'm going to be organising these in the spaces, but on the walls that is, in these 2 spaces, the room space and the corridor. Okay, I'm waffling now, however, I will be perhaps looking at which ones go where. Now, for instance, this piece of work, the acrylic painting I did, and this was named Slate, and I probably will rename this painting actually, I think goes really nicely with this corner because it's got those strands within the painting which go with these kind of wiry strands on the wall. So sometimes hanging work in a space that's not pristine makes it interesting. Well, I feel. You could correct me if you think I'm wrong. In the comments, that is, would be helpful. Thank you. So looking at the work, I feel it falls into a couple of different camps. I, for instance, have this quite landscapey looking, calm landscape looking paintings with a sky and a horizon. And then we have something a little bit more busy. And for instance, this small one, which I really like actually. And although it has a kind of a horizon in it, there's more going on than just a horizon. So it's a bit more abstract. And it's now working out where we'll put the various different paintings and how they'll sit in the show. So I found this little space actually when I was trying to get rid of some of the wires, because there were actually quite a lot of wires down this end. And as a curator, you can decide to keep what you want and get rid of what you want. But going back to the paintings, like I said, I think they fall into a couple of different camps, and I'm going to hang here on this wall one of the paintings, perhaps a more subtle painting, and then work around it and see what goes with it. So this painting named Sky is quite subtle, whereas this painting, Hazel, is more graphic and there's more going on. So I've hung them both on different walls, and then we have Slate and we have Black. I feel each of those paintings falls into a slightly different camp, and I'm going to organise the work according to those 3 paintings. For instance, the painting Azure goes nicely with Sky, and then we have Mint. And these are kind of subtle paintings with an atmosphere about them. So I'd call them atmospheric paintings. Steel also goes with those 3 paintings. And although the colour combo is quite different, I feel it works really nicely. You don't want everything looking really samey either, but the general tone, I feel, is the same. So I'm looking for something with a bit of atmosphere about it, and I think lime has just the right amount of atmosphere and also difference, because like I said, you don't want everything really samey on the wall either. So I'm organising the paintings in the 3 different camps, and we've got quite a few in that particular subtle landscape camp already. But looking at what we have on the floor, this painting Rust, I feel, goes really nicely with Slate. And although I haven't got any room on that particular wall where the wires are, I will hang it next to that wall on the other wall. So this is a really good time to sit back and really have a look at the work and think about what goes together and what doesn't, what things are successful and what not. I had a few in mind that I thought, I'm not quite sure about them when I was painting them. Well, when I was painting them, I was sure about them. But then afterwards, when I was looking at the paintings again, I was a bit like, I'm not sure about those. But I have had them up in the studio space, and I must admit I'm coming round to some of them that I was pretty unsure about previously. I'll tell you what those are in a bit, of course, but at the moment I'm just putting things together and seeing which wall they might go on. So these might go on the same wall, and those perhaps a different wall. I don't even know whether some of these kind of go even within those three camps. I mean, we've got some stragglers, I feel. So for instance, this one called Salmon, I actually really like. And I mean, I might hang it separately somewhere. I don't know if it goes anywhere in particular, but I do like it. So this group of paintings, I feel, go with the paintings Slate and Black. And this painting called Bark, I feel doesn't go with Black. It's more atmospheric, but I haven't got any more room on that wall. So I'm popping it outside in the corridor and together with a few others. For instance, Corn, I don't think fits anywhere very well. And this is one that I may well, I don't know, I may well go over. Let's see. But they kind of sit there. I'm not sure how well, but at the moment they're there. And Salmon's going there too, even though I really like Salmon. So it's not like it's the naughty corridor, but it is the corridor of perhaps more generic work, I would say. I'm quite enjoying the process of hanging the work. It's always nice to have an exhibition to give you some clarity about what you're doing and what you like doing, what you want to do going forward. So I've got quite a few different kinds of work in this exhibition already, and it's a chance for me to think about what I enjoyed most and what I really enjoy looking at. And that's something that all artists have to think about, I feel. So this wall is done, and all these small paintings have gone up. They're generally the same size actually, which is quite nice. And they kind of go with that initial painting Black, and also I feel with Rust. So most of the work is up, and these are, voila, up as well. And I didn't want to hang the paintings in a line, they're in a dispersed fashion. And there is sort of holes here and there, so there could be another painting there, for instance. But, you know, you don't need to. You could put something there if you wanted to, but I kind of allocated other spaces. So that space, I feel, is okay empty. And on this wall, they are more graphic. And this is the atmospheric wall, and I've swapped over a painting. So basically I had fern there. Oh, sorry, not fern, lime. I had lime there, but I thought this painting, Beige, worked really well. And it kind of went with those boxy looking things in the corner there. And it kind of leads also into the more atmospheric work. So there are some paintings in there that lead into each other. I'm quite happy with this random way I've hung the paintings, and I could add some titles if I wanted to, but I've decided I won't because they were inspired by colour prompts and they are colour-rich paintings, so I think that's enough. You can see the colours. Plus also I want to rename some of them, and I do want to work on some of them further and see how far I can get with them. Because of this, I have not removed any tape I had on the edges. And not all of them had tape, but some of them did. In this room there are plugs, and I didn't like the look of the plugs, so I've popped paintings in front of the plugs. And I think it works. I don't actually mind the wiry cabinets in the corner there. So evaluating the paintings is an easy job and at the same time challenging, because first of all you've got to think to yourself, or I always think to myself, did I achieve what I wanted to within the painting? And often there is not much to achieve, it's just a case of enjoying the process, and whatever comes out is the painting. But then when you have to live with a painting, the aesthetic nature of it is something important. So there is a process of review, and usually I keep the paintings up, like I said, and I will look at them and live with them for a while. Some paintings to me are like sketches, and some paintings are definitely finished. So for instance, this painting, Purple, the first one I did, a finished painting. And you might ask yourself, what makes a painting finished? There are, of course, academic standards and things like colour, tone, balance, and interesting mark making. These things, catch your attention, and if a painting has something in it that catches your attention, it is a successful painting. I mean, even if you don't necessarily like the subject matter. I mean, for instance, this one, Magnolia, to me a successful painting, as is Indigo, but both paintings are quite different. So what makes them successful is partly to do with the academic standards that are around paintings, but also it's an intuitive thing. I mean, you're the first critique, you are the artist. And I mean, this one, Slate, quite graphic, quite a story to it, busy. And then we have this small painting, Fern, quite tranquil, and my go-to style really. On this wall we have a lead-in painting, Beige, which is kind of nice when you're hanging the exhibition to have, like I said, lead-in paintings. But I think for me the most successful painting on this wall is Sky, and Azure is also a successful painting, although I do like Mint as well. And I think it's the atmosphere that these evoke. On this wall we have more graphical paintings, so we've got Bluebell and Hazel, and there's more to them. They could be representational, they could be abstracted representational, so that was Poppy. And then we have Red, which could be flowers, and then Pink, which could be a landscape, and I really like Pink. For me that's quite successful. And on the floor we have a couple of paintings too. So with paintings you have to kind of critique them yourself first and decide what you liked about it and what you didn't. For me it's all part of the process. So the painting is the main thing that I want to do. I just want to paint, and then afterwards I review. So for instance, this one, Terracotta, absolute favourite. And the last painting I did, which is the multicoloured painting, I really like. It's quite different. It's a drippy painting, and I don't usually do drippy paintings necessarily, but that one worked really well. And then we have Bark, again atmospheric, and I really like it. I like the light that's coming through. And then we have Corn, which I must say is to me a painting that you might see anywhere, so I might go over that one, but I do like Salmon as well. So out of all the paintings there are some firm favourites already, and there are some that could be developed, I suppose, if I wanted to. But at the moment I would say the paintings have been a huge success, and I will do some videos on anything that I update. So in my next video, and there might not be in my next video actually, we'll see. But once I start updating them, I will be sharing the process, not wholly, but somewhat of the process of how I'm updating them and what I'm doing with them, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're interested in any of the work, it's up on the website, zarinakiani.co.uk. You'll find all the paintings there, and please contact me if you're interested. Have a good day.